All right, quick, this should be fun. Currently, they said that the full patch notes will be out on Tuesday. Today's actually Tuesday. Just so you guys can see that there is currently no actual patch notes out at the moment. So what I'm gonna do here is very quickly, I'm going to give the fastest predictions, and then when they actually drop the thing, I'm gonna put that in. This is gonna be one video. It's not gonna be multiple videos. I know you guys don't really like when I do patchy stuff anyway. So first of all, thank you guys so much for 1K. There's another video gonna be coming out for that because I have no idea when the patch notes are gonna come out versus when I get to do my 1K video. So let's go through let's do the nerfs because they're quick. Seraphine, I think they're going to limit how many times I gotta make this quick. They're going to heighten, and I mean highly heighten, what it takes for her to level up. I think they're going to keep the level up the same, but they're going to make it very, very high. Phantom Pleasant, I think they're going to bend the knee, and then they're going to go with what they said as far as like in the regions, and it won't be such a high variance. Tumble's going to go up to like 5 mana, or possibly even like 6, or something like that nature. Vayne can reduce it, and then also once Vayne is level, that's completely fine, but her being able to reduce it to 0 once she's level is going to be the reasoning for that. I'm pretty sure. Swain, they're not going to take away the overwhelm, but maybe they'll reduce the damage that he does when the sweep. There's a sweep, maybe it does 1 or maybe 2 damage. Is that Shimon Wind? Maybe make it 3 mana, I'm assuming. Ionian Tellstones, that's kind of weird because all the Tellstones are 1 mana. Are you gonna for some reason make that one 2 mana? But I'm assuming they're gonna nerf like maybe the other, but you can't really nerf like Health Pot or something like that because you just nerf that card in general. But they know people don't run Health Pot in their deck. They know that they only run it because of Ionian Tellstone. So maybe they'll nerf one of the cards inside of it. Curse of the Tomb will probably be changed to that you can't stack it. It's only like 1 instance, so like duplicating it or doing multiple on 1 target won't work anymore. I do like the aspect of it, or they can go full on super duper nerf and then make sure that it doesn't do the double damage thing. Saga Seeker, maybe nerfing his stacks, maybe making him a 1/1 instead of a 1/2. Lee Sin, I don't know what you're gonna do with him. He's been a terror for a long time. The only thing I could think of is maybe making it that you have to cast 3 spells instead, or something like that. That'd be pretty nuts. Warlord's Palace and the Warlord's Horde, they're probably going to increase the number that it takes for it to tick down. Relentless Pursuits and Golden Ages, I can only assume to make their costs a lot higher. I think that they're starting to see, especially with Vayne and Tumble and stuff like that, that rallies and free attacks are really strong for certain characters. So I think that they're going to just nerf them by making them cost more mana. Now, boom, that was pretty quick. Buffs. Varus. Earlier level up, I can only assume that they would do, like he levels up a little bit earlier. Vayne, same thing, but it's a buff to Vayne. I was gonna think maybe her stats, maybe make her like or cheaper. Maybe they make her, if they're gonna nerf Tumble, maybe make her a 2-drop with a little bit less stats. That'd actually be dope, because then you get her on the field and you can get the Tumble. I would love that, by the way. Jinx, oh baby. Actually, it's kind of a surprise. I guess I might be ruining it here, but one of the things I want to do is actually do a Jinx deck. What I would love to see for Jinx, if I were to make my own buffs for her, I would love to see that she actually has a way of discarding stuff herself. To make her level up, or just get rid of the discard thing, because it makes no sense really. It's like a really weird archetype. It doesn't fit with her really too much outside of her get excited. I would love to see her almost reworked entirely, to be completely honest. Gwen, I'm assuming either level up quicker or the actual initial snip thing does more damage. That's the only thing I could think of. Jax needs his weapon needs to be buffed, I think. I like him overall, but I think his weapon needs to at least get +1/+1 or something like that. It's starting out at 0 and forcing you to have to go into Forge is kind of silly. Rhymefang Wolf is the 3/2 that pulls the thing. Maybe, I don't know how you actually buff this. I thought this was a fine card. Maybe he gets stats every time he kills something with 0 mana, a 0 attack, seems right to me. Buffing the Ravenbloom, they nerfed it and made its cost higher, so I'm assuming they'll maybe bring it back down. Lord Broodmane's getting buffed, so that one I'm assuming they're going to do. The only thing I could think of is that maybe his skill targets 2 enemies at the same time, or something of that nature. That's the only thing I could think of. Papa the Great, I guess, give more stats to the Yordles. Swole Scout, I don't know what that does. Yordle Newbie, I think if you get a bunch of cards or something like that, you gain stats. Maybe they'll increase the stats. Hextech Obliterator, I think a cost reduction would be right. Same thing with Celestial Impact, a cost reduction would be nice. Safety Inspector, you don't even know what that is. Troll Scavenger, you behold something and then you get some stats out of that. So maybe give them more stats or more keywords. Sanan Buff. kind of weird. Maybe make it Grant instead of which would be insanely strong, by the way. Maybe, but yes, I'm thinking maybe make it Grant instead of plus per round. But if they want to keep it per round, then increase the stats that it gets per round, and they keep the draw at 2. I think they increased his cost before, but I think the cost seems to, in my opinion, make more sense. Escape Abomination. This is the card that comes out of the 1/1. It got reduced its health. Maybe they'll bring its health back so it's a little bit more sturdy. Bone Club, 100% cost reduction. Shadow Blade Fanatic is the other card that makes the Fiend. Maybe it doesn't make the Fiend anymore. Maybe it makes a card that you actually give a fuck about. Wrathful Rider is a generally useless card. You're never gonna see it played. I'd be interested to see what they do with that one. Gorlith, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe making its stats better, or maybe changing the way that it swaps with the health of the Nexus. Dust Rider is the one that gets stats based on how much times you nightfalled. Maybe they'll increase its base stats to make it better. Reaver's Row getting buffed. What the hell? Maybe they want to make the archetype better. Only thing I could think of is giving more stats or dropping more 1-drops. The cards are kind of already random because it does make units randomly. Battlefield Telstone's getting buffed, and it's weird that the Iron Telstone's getting nerfed. So what do? Make these things? Oh, you know what? Maybe they'll rotate the cards that are in it. Bando City has a lot of good cards, but the ones that they put in there are absolutely garbage. But maybe they'll switch out Iron Telstones, like switch out Health Pot. I never even thought of that until I just thought of it now. Spirits Unleashed. This card is relatively crappy, but I think if you make it cheaper, it's not that bad. I actually like it because all your units take damage, and in certain archetypes it's not that bad when all your units take damage, and then you pretty much heal through it, and meanwhile the opponent does not. Rev Colossus, I think they just make him cheaper, or make it that, because he makes a copy of himself once he gets equipped. It just seems like, as an 8-drop, he just seems like stupid. Darkened Ballista, it probably doesn't ping the Nexus. It was also a weird thing that it did that. Make it cost a little bit proper, and then make it that it doesn't ping the Nexus. Your own Nexus, by the way. Pathless Ancient, I think he just costs 2 less when he does that. Maybe they'll make it that he costs 3 less when you recall an enemy that turn. Laurent Duelist gives Challenger to a unit. I'm assuming that maybe Challenger and Tough. Challenger and Barrier, something like that. He is like a 4 cost, so or maybe just reducing his cost, another thing. Void Seeker, maybe taking the limitation off of followers would be nice. I think that would be nice. Shatter, Frostbite, and if they're frostbitten, it does 4. So maybe increase the damage on that. And that is it. How long did that take me? Damn, that still took a lot. Still took a lot to go through all that, but once we see what it is, I guess it's more self-explanatory. But those are my predictions. All right, we're on the Runeterra website. Let's see if I was right or wrong. All right, so there goes the thing. First up, we have Vadis. Lowering level up, requiring to give him more. I figured that was gonna happen. So a little bit earlier, he's going to pop a little bit earlier. That's obviously a good thing. Not much to say about that. Here we go. Do I make a Jinx deck right now? So now, Change now creates her first Megadeth rocket on level up. She cannot create another that turn. That to me is not good enough. The Megadeth rocket is 1 cost. I think it would be nice if it was actually 0. But I guess maybe that would be too much, right? But Jinx has struggled to be competitive for a while. Turns out emptying your hand is a hefty price to pay. No shit. And reward for gamble, but it still costs 1. I think that they should have changed actually what she does. I just think it's garbage. Probably still won't see her, in my personal opinion. My poor girl. That's why the channel is Jinx does nothing wrong, but I don't like her design in the actual game. It doesn't feel that impactful. Except the fact that she's a draw 1 engine. That's a cool thing, but you have to empty your hand first and then do it. So I've been trying to figure out ways to make it work, but I just can't come up with a way to make it work, really. Next up is going to be Jax, lowering his level up requirement to make that he levels up quicker. He becomes more of a threat. I would have definitely liked something done with the equipment, or maybe that when he attacks he forges or something like that. Like that would have been nice, but it just seems like really weird. You're still forcing him to be in like other decks, but he's really is a kind of like an engine. He's not really like a solo type. He's not a Jhin Runeterra champion, so that's cool, I guess. The Snip is getting buffed. Drains to minimum. Oh, okay, so this is for leveled up Gwen that pretty much it will always do at least 2, because I guess before she's getting frozen, and obviously Gwen was released, and then you released Varus in his package, right? So now she can be frozen because of the high attack. Actually, it's completely countered by the frozen one, right? Because both the left one and Gwen will probably get frozen, and then this does nothing. So that's cool. I guess that's a nice thing to do. Next up is the Seraphine nerf. going from +6 spells to 9. I figured they would do that as well. This one I think is something that they have to feel out, because I'm very curious if that is actually enough. I don't think it's going to put her out of the meta, but it is curious to see if that will make an actual difference, because what's most important is the duplication thing that's in her level up. So making it take longer to get there, I think it will be interesting, so you won't have to deal with it so early. And I do think that that will also sequentially nerf Ezreal as well, like, because she won't be leveled up, and then you're just dealing with Ez with a bunch of decent spells, but you have to really commit harder to the new spell thing. You got to commit way harder to it in order for her to level up, because if you run too many doubles and triples, you're not going to level her up. You're going to be requiring Sputtering Singer and all this other stuff to do it, and it might be too slow. Fan Club President turned into a 5 cost. I still think that they should have changed that, force it into the regions, so you have more of an idea of what the opponent has, and I think that that was something. But it seems that they definitely want to keep up with this RNG thing, like they don't want to like let go of it too much. But I think that that would have been this is a telltale sign that they don't want to really give it up. They just want to make it a little bit more awkward as far as your mana is concerned in order to play it. But yeah, dropping her on 4 with 2 mana backed up was a little bit too strong. So now dropping her on 5, 2 mana backed up, maybe that's a little bit more awkward. But I just wish that they lowered the RNG, the variance of some of these cards. Tumble going up to 4 costs, figured that would happen, making it that it takes a little bit longer for you to actually do it. So, and then yes, in vain, her buff, I guess that's what it was, is that instead of reducing it by 3, it just reduces it down to 0. I mean, that's okay. Lee Sin also going up, instead of 8 going up to 10, same thing as Seraphine, just making it a little bit harder to do that. Both the Warlord's Palace only going up by 1. That's probably not going to be too much of a difference. Honestly, sometimes I think this is actually like a buff. They say it's a nerf, but I think it might be a buff, because sometimes I feel like people, when they're playing Akshan, it triggers on an awkward turn, right? So now, before, when it would trigger at the end of a turn, I feel like now it's going to trigger at the beginning of your turn, giving you more plays. This actually might be a buff, but yes, it goes up, so I think it's considered a nerf, so it is what it is. Swain's getting his damage lowered, which I think is definitely less. I think his attack should be significantly lower. I actually don't mind you giving him Overwhelm. I really don't, but I think his attack was way too high. I would even go maybe making him a 2-7 or something like that, and then yes, then when he levels up, he gets more. But like, if you want him to overwhelm through something, it should be that he has to ping it down a little bit or something like that. Not that he just raw attacks on the left side and magic happens. I think you should have to ping or invest spells into what is blocking him to make it that he pushes damage through it, not that he just has enough attack. So him going to a 4-7 might do something. I mean, it's the same idea that I'm talking about, but like nothing significant here. So yes, this is what I thought after a while looking at it. So they're taking Healing Potion out. So the recovery that this card was getting, especially with Seraphine, I guess they wanted to take that out. So now it's Gruesome Theater, which is a recall spell, which means that, wait, oh, they changed everything of it. Not everything, but they took out Health Potion and Homecoming, and then this is a recall spell. Gruesome Theater is a recall spell, but it's a little bit different. And missing out Homecoming is actually big. Homecoming for certain decks, that's 2 things of that nature. You have the Raw Run recall, and Gruesome Theater is, again, not that bad, but damn, that's kind of rough. Now they don't have that cheap mana, and actually, yes, that's also why they're doing it. You know why? Because it's cheap. Having Health Potion in there was cheap. You can use Telestone, that's 2 mana play, the boom, flows activated. So this is actually a pretty cool change. It's gonna make things interesting. They still have a heal function, but the heal function is higher. But you do have to be careful, is because Ritual of Renewal is a draw card as well. So now with Ionian Telestones, they get a heal and a draw, and this card I think is 4 mana. So I'm curious if that actually might have been quote unquote a nerf, but actually could, in certain circumstances, might have been a buff to certain types of decks. So very interesting to see how the Ionian Telestones go. Shimon Win is being changed to focus speed. Why did I forget that that's a thing that they can do, to force you to commit it beforehand, that you can't do it mid battle. Awesome change. I think that's actually really good. This one is changed to is it the same thing for this one? Okay, no. So changing Relentless Pursuit to doesn't target anything is actually kind of nuts. Now this is what I think it was before, when it was 3 costs. Now this one you can't duplicate with Tarek, but it is funny. Yeah, sorry Tarek, but this one's kind of weird because you can still duplicate the one that mainly people use. People really didn't use Relentless Pursuit, I don't think, that, or they definitely didn't run, but they definitely ran a 3 of of this one. Making it go up to 5 costs, I feel like is somewhat irrelevant. Because if you're using it for the cheese, I think that you're using it for the cheese, right? Like, that's not really changing how you're gonna, yeah, you pay 1 more mana so that you can't do as many plays, but usually sometimes it coming out is the end of the turn anyway. So, I guess decent, but I think that doing this to it would have been better. Even if it was to say, you know, would have been better? Instead of targeting an ally, if you wanted to shaft Tarek, you just say that give your highest HP or highest attack unit barrier and rally. That way it's the same thing, because before, even if you kill the character that the barrier or this thing is targeting, the rally still happens anyway. So just give it that thing that doesn't really target anyone. But and it also would make it cool because you can then manipulate with burst speed spells or even fast speed spells, depending on like the order, who gets the barrier and who doesn't. So I don't know, that would have been a cooler change in my opinion. Next up is going to be the Curse of the Tomb. They're keeping it the same way, but they're just making it a 3-cost spell. I think that is weird. While it has, yeah, because it hasn't won enough. It's a cheesy mechanic, so they didn't want to mess around with it too much. But I do think that I thought that maybe they would have changed it, how its interaction, but they just made it 3, making it more awkward. Same thing with Ancient Hourglass. Changing it to a 3-mana card actually kind of wrecked the card. In a funny way, just kind of wrecked it. Like, and now people don't run it because it's not as cheap. It's a little clunky. So maybe that's what the Curse of the Tomb is going to be. It's going to be a little clunky, but it is an OTK-ish kind of card. So maybe that's not the case here. I don't know. But that one, the 1/1, I already knew that was going to happen. 0/1 on the Ionian Hookmaster. Okay, making it not as prevalent, right? I think a lot of times it was like a really cheap fearsome blocker, with depending on the weapon that it got. But that's okay too. Nothing too crazy. Variety card buffs. So this ain't variety. I think this means like they're changing a lot of what it does. Create a Yordle, summon a Yordle. So instead, create a Yordle, summon a Yordle, grant other Yordles, other allied Yordles this, grant all Yordles. I don't actually know how many Yordles there are, so I guess you get a Yordle in hand. You definitely would have to check the variance on that to manifest a Yordle. Obviously, I'm assuming that it's just followers and it's not going to be any like champions or anything like that. That would make this absolutely busted, especially as a 3-drop. So it's probably just followers, and I guess that's okay. Swole thing, yeah, this is the guy. He gets, when I'm summoning, grant me +1/+1 for each Yordle ally you have. So there we go. The Yordle deck is coming. The Yordle supremacy is here, and that's why they're saying the Yordle domination unity. When you summon a Yordle, give me +2 this round. So if you have a bunch of Yordles, the 1 cost. So you know, there we go. 1 cost. So they're trying to make you buy into a Yordle deck. I guess maybe something. Shatter from 2 costs going down to 1 cost. Yeah, this one is the Frostbite. I didn't even know it was 2 costs. God, that sucks. Rhyme Fang Woke turning into a 2/3, allowing it to trade a little bit better. Scavenger going to a 1/3 to a 0/4. Sorry, so a 0/4 that can become a 3/4. 2 cost 3/4 card is good, you know, on paper. I don't think you see the card anywhere, but this one, Hex Tech Obliterated going to 6 damage. 6 damage for 6 costs, and if it kills, it obliterates. That's actually insanely good. That's amazing to see that right there. Oh! Celestial Impact now heals the Nexus as well. Why not? Give them a little bit more recovery. That's kind of funny that they did that. Ravenmoon Conservatory, again, that was obvious. It's going to go down in cost. This one's getting better stats, so it can stay on the board a little bit. The defense, I actually would have preferred like a 2/6. Give me more. Engines need more health. They need to be able to stick on the board. I don't really give a damn if they're what their attack is, but I feel like they don't want to give too much health because then it'd be too hard to remove. But it is weird that Annie's getting buffs, but I don't know, maybe they're not too much, but I don't know. I would have, it does feel a little bit weird there. Sign in going from a 3/3, I think, back to a 3/5. I think that's where it was before, so they gave its health back a little bit. Laurent Duelist, now it's a 2 cost. I think this was, it was a way higher cost. Grant an ally in hand challenger. That is significant, because you don't know. It's cheaper now, and then on top of that, granting something challenger is nuts. This is gonna make a lot of the Jarvan decks good, because a lot of time they run the 1-drop, which is cool, but now you can really go crazy. especially with the scouts. You can bring out a thick scout. Yeah, no, this is nuts. This card is the nuts. It's probably the best thing that I've seen so far. Ouroboros becomes a 1/1, so if you silence it, it doesn't die. I don't even know why they made it a 0/0 because it gets big regardless, right? But that was the only fault that it had. Though I didn't see any videos of people silencing it because people really don't run silences like that. But it would be funny to have seen that. Next up, the safety inspector is getting some stats. 6 cost 6/6 to a 5 cost 5/5. No one cares. This one going for a 4/2 to a 3/3. That's okay, I guess. Bone Club is going down, right? Oh, 5 cost 5/5. So they Bone Club, big club, me makes club bigger, bigger club, hurt more, good. I still don't think it's going to get C play. I would have preferred at that point 4 cost 4/4, 3 costs 4 something like that. Just a 5 cost equipment that you have to keep playing over and over again just seems wow, or gave it overwhelm or something. But yeah, this one getting some defensive, who cares? This one becoming 8/3. Yes, more damage on a thing without overwhelm or quick attack. Yes, in that region specifically, you can actually give it that stuff, but I don't know. I don't think you're seeing this card because of that. It's just weird. Like, who the fuck was like looking at this stuff and was like, bro, Rayful Rider definitely needs some love. It's just that's not how you do it. I don't know. Like this, you have to like they shouldn't make like these vanilla cards, like these cards that really do nothing but have like a keyword. They should like I don't know, spice them up a little bit if you really want it to be used. Like make it that when you challenge something happens. I don't know. I just don't envision you using this card. Gorelift going up to 12. Yep, don't care. This one going into a cheaper. Yeah, okay, now that's a good change. Making this cheaper, especially because it does get a bunch of attack. I think that's a cool change. That's nice. Reaver's Row going down to 4 costs. I think that is better because playing this as 5 just felt ugly to me. Even though I saw people making so many decks revolving around it, just playing it on 5 just felt garbage. Making it down by 1 will make it a little bit more bearable in my opinion. But yeah, I think 5 costs was a little bit too much. But you know, now the people that make those decks are probably gonna love it even more, right? Spirit Unleash, +1/+1 now granted to allies everywhere. What in the actual fuck is that? What? Dude, that's actually nuts. You're gonna love playing that because it still does the same thing it did before, but now even allies in your deck is buffed pretty much. Your hand is buffed. Everything gets buffed there. Bard, I think, only gets buffed from holy shit. I think Bard would get pluses for the cards in the field and then the stuff in the hand, right? Because allies everywhere, right? I'd test that. Or is it just the champ spell that does it? Because it says Spirits Unleashed, but they're showing his champ spell, which I think is a little bit confusing. But that would be a cool change. I would love that. I definitely will test that out because that will make a lot of decks really strong, right? That would make some Demacia decks, especially now that we're able to give Challenger now to cards in hand. You can have something really spicy brewing up in the hand now. That also, especially because it's Demacia, remember Kaiser is in the building. The more stuff that you can grant and choose what you want to give, that's the better that is. That's kind of nuts. Wrathful Colossus change, created copy now costs 4. So that's actually good. So it is super strong and the created copy costs 4. Victor's out there, Victor's having a good time. Guess what? Now it costs 3 and it has those stats. I like that change because then you can kind of chain it a little bit more. There's some cool stuff. Like I said, Victor I'm thinking about because all of the forged stuff are created spells. So there could be a really cool PNZ for your deck that would kind of synergize with that, right? I think it is. No self-damage on equip. Thank you. It was cool when I played it with Sivir. I don't know if I even uploaded that deck, but I played it with Sivir, and yes, every ping to my own Nexus did work out. I'm pretty sure with Swain it would work out too. It just didn't make no sense to the card. If anything, I would have been fine if it pinged the actual ally that I put it on. But then I would prefer it maybe get 3, but even 3 is a lot because then but I use it for reputation, right? It's a really good reputation equipment, but it is what it is. This one costs 2 less for each unit recalled this round. For each unit recalled. So if you recall 2 units this round, then this cost is a 0 cost 4/3. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot, especially because if you have stuff like the Shimon Wind and all those other cards that recall themselves, and then you can play this afterwards, a 0 cost 4/3. That's pretty good. I'll take that any day. That's a really good card. And also, if you need to use him as a recall target, you know, if you homecoming anything, he's 0 cost, right? Because you're bouncing back something theirs and yours, that's boom, automatically. But if you homecoming a landmark, it won't count because it does say unit. But this is a really good change. I like that. Void Seeker can now hit champions after you've evolved. So only a deal 1 Defiler, and then we're at a deal 3D unit. So that's fair. That's fair. I like that. Let's see, Keeper Stone. So they're changing this, and now you have Electro Harpoon instead of the Keeper's Verdict. Electro Harpoon is the one where you discard. I guess that's nice because there are some discard synergies within Vandal City, so I guess. But they call this a great buff. Where meanwhile, the Ionian Tailstones I feel like is more of a quote-unquote buff than anything, you know. And they're dropping a new Ari skin, Spirit Blossom Ari. Cool. Evelyn gets a skin. Oh God, that looks phenomenal. That looks so good. That looks amazing. I hope that they're like, that looks crazy too with the face paint, the mask on. I like that skin a lot. And then they have alternate art. Editor husk that Evelyn generates will also appear Spirit Blossom form. That's spicy to me. And then Kindred, one of the more classic ones, to have the Spirit Blossom. She has that in the actual Runeterra. So that's pretty cool. Is that I'm about to say, is that Yone? Master Yi, alternate art. Teemo finally getting a skin. Yeah, Spirit Blossom is already in Legends of Legends of Runeterra. League of Legends already in there. Yasuo getting his Spirit Blossom skin. A lot of these have their Spirit Blossom skins. Updated champion skins. So they've been doing this recently. I don't know if you guys know. I didn't know until I saw it in the stream that like the Echo skin, they gave it a actual animation, which is kind of crazy. So I do wonder if that means like they'll go back and like, imagine buying a skin and you thought was, yeah, see look, this one, it has like a different animation now. So I don't know if currently it's cheap and it will stay cheap, and then like that kind of makes you want to buy skins more often. So like imagine you buy one of these skins and it has no animation, and then you know a couple months to a year down the line it does. That's you know makes you want to buy a skin and pray and hope. I don't think that they'll do it for everyone, but maybe they'll do polls or something like that. Like, hey, like I really like, which one do you guys want us to invest in? And then that one will be the thing. So with the new level up animation, the price in the store will also increase to reflect the new skin quality. Players who have already purchased the skin will automatically have their skins upgraded. That's kind of snasty, I'm not gonna lie. Let me open up Runeterra. So getting it now would be smarter than to wait and get it later. Wait, did they already upgrade it? Damn, they already upgraded it, bro. Damn. I was too slow. They already upgraded it. That's kind of nasty, though. I think that they should have kept it 700 because then it's just kind of weird. Yeah, it's great for the people that liked it, but I think that most people don't really care too much for just the splash arts. Yeah, by the way, we upgraded this. Now it costs this much. But hey, it is fair. It does make sense why they do it, but I think they should have just kept it that way, and then I think more people would have been like, I think they would have made more money off of it, because some people don't want to spend the $12.90, which if I'm not mistaken is $10, $12, $20. Sorry, $20 to get those skins if you have absolutely 0 coins lying around. But before, a skin was about $10, so I think that would have been a good thing. Or you know, especially if you would have got this $20, you could have got both. I think that they would make more sales that way. But now you have this one, and you're only going to be able to get one of them. So, Anywho, what do you guys think about these lovely changes? Do you guys, which ones are you most excited for? What decks do you want me to make? You guys let me know in the comment section below. I do want to make a Jinx deck that's supposed to be, like I said, the celebration of hitting 1K. I want to definitely make a Jinx deck. I definitely want to do a stream in the near future, so you guys let me know what time frames and stuff like that. But most importantly, what is the first deck we're doing after the patch drops? You guys got to let me know. What are we doing? What are we doing, fam? And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.